Do you wish that all things wealth and finance were much easier to understand and not presented by a bunch of beige cardigan-wearing geeks? Welcome to the Clever Investor Podcast, where we're dishing up the easiest to understand finance program served in bite-sized chunks, so your brain will thank you as your knowledge grows. Hosted by the brilliant Owen Taylor, a multiple award-winning expert with a glorious knack for explaining the complex world of wealth in the simplest of ways.
Hey Clever Investors, and welcome to another show. Benjamin Graham was born in London in May 1894, and when he was 1 year old, he moved to New York City with his family. Later in life, becoming an American citizen, he was an economist, a professor, an investor, and also an author. In fact, his best-selling book, The Intelligent Investor, that was first published in 1949, is on Warren Buffett's favourites list, and he notably said about the book, "It's the best book about investing ever written." Amongst many things, his investment philosophy stressed a buy and hold philosophy, but more so investor psychology. One of his great quotes is the basis for today's show. The investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself. All money markets are overwhelmingly controlled by investor emotions. At the bottom, the majority always expect prices are going to fall lower than what they are, maybe even crash. And at the top, they expect prices to get higher and higher and higher. Why this is the case is due to our limbic system. The limbic system is part of the brain wired for emotions. It's our fight or flight responses. It's an ancient part of our brain that has evolved over 150 million years. In contrast, the prefrontal cortex, which controls the higher functions of rational thought and logic, is far more recent, only been developed over the last 500,000 years or so. Our brains have evolved in such a way that they have many more connections running from our limbic system to the cortex than we have the other way round. Now, this noise from the limbic system can drown out the quieter signals running in the other directions. Financial markets, being visual representations of greed and fear, are controlled almost entirely by our limbic system. It's why the graphs that you see in the media, in proposal papers of market cycles are shaped the way that they are. And interestingly, why investing well over the long term is only achieved by the relative minority. The extent to which you succeed in finance and investing depends on how successful you are in suppressing your limbic system. In the book, Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed and Happiness, Morgan Housel touches on this. Doing well with money isn't necessarily about what you know. It's about how you behave. And behavior is hard to teach, even to really smart people. It's why people with no formal training in finance can have excellent investing records. Investing isn't just about knowledge of finance or reading interest rate cycles accurately. It's equally about mastering our emotions, our behaviors, and how we handle things like greed, risk, our temperament, and, more importantly, our own ego. On the other end of the spectrum, there are people with university degrees, Einstein-size IQs, who are working at the best investment banks with the best financial education, using the most sophisticated financial models and the best software available, who ultimately end up going bankrupt. There is probably no other industry where someone with no formal education can massively outperform someone with the best background and training. You have to agree that this is probably never going to happen in medicine. Can you imagine someone with no medical experience performing brain surgery better than Charlie Teo can? No, I don't think so. Yet, this regularly happens in investing. The truth is, investing successfully is mostly about doing simple things over and over again, such as saving some money each week or adding properties to your portfolio whenever you can afford to and sitting on it for as long as you can. This is probably 80% of investing, and it's so simple, it's so boring, it's so basic. You don't need to sign up to university to learn that. Sadly and wrongly, we often end up just focusing on the other 20% because it seems more complicated and it seems more exciting. It also can give us a short-term feeling of achievement, and maybe it's even more mentally stimulating. In summary, KISS. Keep it simple. Thanks for tuning in to this week's show. I'll see you again next week.
You have been listening to the Clever Investor Podcast, proudly sponsored this week by Blue Wealth Property. Are you ready to start a new investment journey? Get in touch with the industry leaders, Blue Wealth Property. Blue Wealth have a proven track record in using research to identify growth markets, and Blue Wealth have supported thousands of Australians to buy the right property in the right market at the right time. Go to bluewealth.com.au.